Oh dear. Okay, this is the Littleton Affordable Housing Trust meeting on Tuesday, July 13th, I believe it is. And I will call this meeting to order. And Ashley, let's start with you and your report on the LRAP and the ERAP.
Sure. So for the Littleton Rental Assistance Program, we have no new applicants to present this evening. Currently, the program is assisting 8 households, and 4 out of the 8 active have entered into year 2 of the program, and in total expended in FY21 was $22,000. Okay. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program, right now we have 2 active applicants, and both of those active are in the extension of the program. And then year to date, $48,150. And we've used CARES Act funding thus far. As far as the Mortgage Assistance Program, we are working on outreach and alerting the community that this program exists. So we do not have any applicants to share at this point in time, but in the coming weeks, I would suspect that we'll have a few to present.
Okay. How does, just for information, how does the CARES Act work? Is that do we spend the money and get a refund, or does it just come directly? How does that work?
I don't really know that level of detail. I work with the finance department, and the former finance director had asked every time, we create the invoices, the payment vouchers for the following month's rental assistance, to reach out and say how much we would need. And she would, let us know if we could use CARES Act funding, and we've been handling it that way.
Okay. All right.
So far. So I think more on the accounting side that they do the switch over. So right. Michelle Reynolds would know that detail.
Okay, great.
I know that from the select board perspective, we submit requests for reimbursement about, I think, quarterly. And most of them are approved and some are not approved. But it's definitely the case that we spend the money and then we are reimbursed for those expenses. So I would assume that the same is true for the rental assistance, or mortgage assistance, or rental assistance.
Okay.
Well, the town spends the money and the town is reimbursed. The Affordable Housing Trust has not had to spend the money.
Okay.
That's been,
right.
I believe that's been charged to the our CARES Act account.
Does the royalty?
Okay.
I think.
That sounds right. I think it is right. I think the town does all of the accounting, sends off the request in a package, and then the town is reimbursed by the feds.
Okay. That's fine. Just idle curiosity. Okay. Thank you. That's.
Yeah, okay. I was very excited to hear that Ashley had all of the program materials for the emergency mortgage assistance program put together and ready to advertise, and had already started with that. So that's great news.
The ball is rolling on that one.
Cool.
Yeah. So Bartlett, I see that Carolyn Reed has joined us. Carolyn is the I want to call her the executive director of the Habitat for Humanity. I believe it's called the North Central region, covers Littleton and the wide area.
Yep.
Carolyn, I invited Carolyn to come tell the Affordable Housing Trust about some of the work that Habitat for Humanity has done in the region for affordable housing. And just, I had the opportunity to meet her at a workshop, a Zoom workshop that was put on by Senator Jamie Eldridge. And it included a group of affordable housing experts. And I was impressed by the work that Habitat has done in the area. And I thought perhaps you'd be interested in hearing from her as well.
Right. Absolutely.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry that my video isn't working. Mary and I haven't figured it out since we spoke. So even though I spent many years in high tech, I don't know my PC yet. But thank you for inviting me to come and talk about what Habitat does. And I do have a presentation if you want me to share my screen, or I can just talk, whatever you guys would like.
Oh,
I
definitely.
think the presentation would be awesome.
All right, can everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so Habitat NCM has been working in the local area for 33 years now, and our vision is in common with Habitat International and with every affiliate. So our vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live, and our mission is bringing people together to build homes, communities, and hope. The local offices are all set up as independent affiliates of Habitat for Humanity International. So we all have our own nonprofit, our tax ID number, but we're all linked with Habitat, and we all follow, as I said, the same mission and vision. So we cover 30 towns now. Originally, we were chartered to do 25. We now cover 30 towns. We serve 30 different towns from Acton all the way out to Athol. So we cover Western Middlesex and Northern Worcester counties. And we have two major programs that we offer. So we offer new home building, and our affiliate builds 2 houses per year, generally. Sometimes it's more. And we do up to 24 critical home repair projects. And the critical home repair projects are for any homeowner living in any existing affordable home in our region. And our goal there is to maintain our existing affordable housing stock. And we've done several of these in Littleton. We've done about 90 so far. And for both programs, for new home building and critical home repair, we serve residents who earn less than 60% of area median income, who have a need and a willingness to partner. So for both programs, the families will help either with their repair or helping to build their house. For the home ownership program, our new homes are generally 3 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bathrooms, 1,200 square feet. So that is our existing design that we use. Depending on the family selected, we can make them a little bigger, or if it's for aging in place, we generally do a 2-bedroom, 1,000 square foot. We did build a house in Fitchburg for a family of 9, so we did make it 4 bedrooms and a basement that could be finished. We do design the houses for accessibility, and they're always visitable, and we make them fully accessible if the family selected needs that. And I should say that we generally select our families as soon as we're permitted to build. So that gives them time to help build their own house. We try to make the homes as compatible with the character of the neighborhood as we possibly can. And it's our goal to have Habitat homes in neighborhoods that are mixed with market rate homes. The way we get land is through the tax title process. We have had builders donate land to us as well as individuals. We have worked with a couple different builders who had requirements either under inclusionary zoning or 40B to help them build some of their affordable units. It's a great way to get it done, but it doesn't really add any more to the affordable housing because they have to do it anyway. But sometimes builders might not know the process as well as we do, so we will help them do that as well. Whenever we do build, and when we built the home on Harvard Road in Littleton, this worked extremely well in Littleton. We form a local project committee when we come into a town. So we want every home to be built in partnership with the community that we're building the home in. So we'll provide the structure, the insurance, the construction manager. I sit in on every LPC meeting, but the local project committee really helps to fuel the build. And we always select someone from the local project committee to serve on the family selection committee. So we have someone from the local town helping to select the family. And then someone from the LPC also always serves as a family advocate. So they'll help the family as they are doing their sweat equity and learning how to become a first-time home buyer. And then for a year after they're in the home, learning about being a homeowner and what that means. And they also help the family learn more about the community. So what are the faith organizations available? Where's the school? What does the library have? So they'll help the family get integrated into the community as well. So I included here some pictures of our past projects. So there's Wanda's house on Harvard Road. And she just paid her house off, which was really, really exciting. We celebrated at our spring breakfast. So she now owns the house outright. It still does have a deed restriction. So if she ever chooses to sell it, and so far that's not going to be a choice. She wants to be able to have her sons live there. But it is deed restricted in perpetuity. The one on the right is a house that we built on River Street in Acton. This one, Gabriel Lane, is on Route 2A in Acton. So that was part of a 40B that we had worked on. And then the next three photos are 3 duplexes that we've built. So we've built several duplexes. They're generally set up as a condo unit or a condo by duplex. So the one on the right was offset capes because that's the way it fit best with the land that we were building on. And on the left here, that was just down the street from the offset capes, but it was a really thin piece of land, thin and long. So we ended up doing side-by-side colonials there for the 2 families, for the Smith and Bresnahan families. And then on the right, we had a property given to us by the town of Air. There was a lot of ledge, so we ended up doing 2 Cape style slab on grade. And so that's the one on the right. So those are the 3 standard, pretty much standard designs that we have for duplexes. This is the house plan for the houses that we're currently building. So we just completed 2 houses in Ashburnham using this design. We're going to finish another in late September in Athol with the same design. And then we're using the same one again for a house we're starting in Hubbardston right now. We're starting the site work in Hubbardston. All 4 of these houses have solar. So the land allowed us to place the houses so we could have solar panels, and we have a company who's donating solar panels for us to use. And all 4 of these houses, we've partnered with Monty Tech to help us build the houses. The houses that we built in Acton on School Street, we did partner with Minuteman, and then the Air houses we partnered with Neshoba Valley Tech. For these 4 houses, we've partnered with the tech schools for electrician, plumbing, HVAC, and carpentry. And then for the houses in Air and School Street, we did just the licensed trades. So we did just electric, plumbing, and HVAC. We partnered with them, and that worked best for them. When we do partner with the tech schools, we have volunteers come at least on Saturdays. And then for part of the year with Monty Tech, we built Monday, Tuesday, they built Wednesday through Friday, and we built Saturday. So it helped us to get it done very quickly. And we really enjoy partnering with the schools. And then I included in here our a budget. So this is a typical budget for one of our builds. When we do the budget and when we price the houses, it's based on cost of materials. So the mortgage that the family will have will be a no interest mortgage. The payments and the term are set up based on what their income is. So we make sure that families never pay more than 30% of their gross income on housing costs. So we set up so their mortgage insurance and taxes are never more than 30%. And again, we only set the mortgage based on the materials cost. So that's part of how Habitat is set up. When we do a build, we do raise all the funds for the build locally. You can see here, I usually do apply to the Federal Home Loan Bank for one of their affordable housing program loans. And we're about 50-50 with that, depending on the year, because they change their scoring year by year. So I will apply for that. We have some larger funders. Charles Bank Homes will help us about once a year building a home. We do have a down payment. It's usually $1,400 or $1,500, and we have the families start saving that as soon as they're selected for the home. And then we do fundraisers throughout the year. So we will do some in Littleton. The one that we built on Harvard Road, that was, the LPC was made up of 3 different faith communities. And were any of you guys involved in that? Do you remember that one? It was
Yeah,
like 20 years ago.
I was peripherally involved in that.
Yeah, that was a fabulous build. It was really cool that the faith communities came together and they ran the LPC. They recruited volunteers. They did some of the fundraising. So it was a really cool build. And Wanda still feels very close to everyone and loves living in the community. And then at the end, I included just, this is the schedule for the home we're building in Athol. So it generally takes us about a year to build. A little longer, depending on the site work. It took us about 6 months longer in Ashburnham because we ran into COVID. So it was harder to get materials. We had to bring some subcontractors in because Monty Tech was out for a while. But generally, it takes us about a year to build a house from start to finish. So that's all I had for an overview, and I'm happy to answer any questions and talk about how we could work moving forward.
I have some questions.
Yeah.
You, on your critical repairs, you
Yep.
say they have to be affordable units. Is that like deed restricted, capital A affordable?
That's a good question. No. So it's kind of loosely affordable. So we generally don't want work on a house greater than 1,800 square feet. So that's what we look at, the size of the house, and what the need is. So the need has to be critical for the family to stay in the house, and they can't have access to other funding. So if they would have access to a home equity line of credit, then we're probably not the answer for them. A lot of the projects we end up doing, about a third, are roofing projects, because it's really hard for a family, particularly a family on fixed income, to be able to come up with $15,000 to fix their roof. So we've done a lot of roofing projects. And like our home builds with the critical home repair, the homeowners will have a pay it forward agreement, because that's part of our mission, is a hand up, not a handout. So even if we do a critical home repair, the homeowners will have a 0% loan for the cost of materials, again, set for their income. So we have one homeowner, we've done 2 roof repairs for her, and she pays $20 a month because that's what she can afford. So the idea is just for families to pay it forward to the next family and to help us do critical home repairs for them as well.
And you say you do about 2 builds a year. Does a duplex count as 1 or 2 houses?
It counted as 1 when we were doing them. When we did in Fitchburg, that the side-by-side colonials that we did, Monty Tech built 1 and we built the other. So any volunteers that would be on site with Monty Tech had to be Corey storied. So we kept a firm division between the 2 houses. The students worked on one while we were working on the other for carpentry.
I guess my other questions are sort of about partnering. Like what's the most important criteria if we wanted to have a Habitat house built in Littleton? If, let's say, we had a parcel of land, for example, that was slated for affordable housing, which might be the case.
So the first criteria would be it being a buildable lot. So we have a site selection committee that's made up of 2 former city planners, 2 civil engineers, and they'll come look at the lot to make sure it's buildable. So that's the first criteria. The second criteria is the cost of the lot. So in my tenure, I haven't paid more than $1 for a lot. at the cost of the lot. And then just the ability to partner with the town. So if the town has CPA funds, we will apply for CPA funds, for the affordable housing CPA funds. So just our ability to partner with the town. But I have to say, we've enjoyed every single town we've built with. This is our first time building in Athol. It's the first Habitat house up there. We had done 3 or 4 critical home repairs before we started the house, and they've been fabulous to work with. It's just been a great town. And I think for us, it's a great sign that a town has an affordable housing trust, because that means the town is serious about affordable housing and supportive of affordable housing.
I don't want to hog all the questions. I think the rest of the board probably knows where I'm going with this, but
Possibly. Well, I want to say that I really enjoyed working in 1999 and 2000 on the Harvard Road house in Littleton. That was a lot of fun and good experience. Very successful, and I was really, really happy when Wanda made the last payment a couple of months ago.
You know, wasn't it amazing? And she's faced, so she did have a bout with cancer. Her
Yeah,
sons have struggled, but she's really embraced the community and loves living in Littleton.
yeah. She has not had an easy life.
No.
is that so it was a 20-year mortgage?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Carol, what's
Yeah.
the biggest house that you built? Will you do like 4 units? If we had, say we had a piece of land that was donated to us and we could fit 4 units on it, would that be too big for Habitat, or is that stretching it for you?
No, we could do it. It would probably take us more than a year to be able to build 4 units. And I would partner with one of our other affiliates to use a plan that they have. But we could do 4 units, yeah.
I was also thinking, maybe we get Neshoba Tech involved if that's something. If the vocational schools are a good asset for this kind of thing, I bet we could bring them in for labor at least.
Yeah, and it's been, like we did in Fitchburg. If they take a house or 2, we take a house or 2, we can build concurrently with volunteers and some. And it's just such a great partnership because they get to learn on the job building a real house, and we supply the materials for them, so they don't have that cost. It's been a great partnership.
How long does it take from start to finish? Say we have a piece of land and we know we want to do something with it. How long does it take for us to get you involved, your Habitat involved, and to be actually viable to be starting to do it? Is it 6 months? Is it a year?
So I would estimate that, if we're all moving forward on this, it's usually about 6 weeks for the RFP, right? You'd have to issue an RFP. You'd have to go out. We would submit a proposal to that RFP. And then from that, we'd probably do a land distribution agreement or a purchase and sale, and there'd be some time. And then generally before closing, I would file the local action unit application with DHCD, and we'd get the LAU application, the marketing plan, and the regulatory agreement signed. And so that usually takes about 6 weeks through DHCD. And then once that is done, we would close on the land, we would record the regulatory agreement, and then we would start applying for the building permit. So it's usually about 6 months. We just signed an LDA in Acton for a property on Carlisle Road, and that RFP was distributed. I answered it in April, so I think it was sent out in March. And we've already signed the LDA, and I've got the LIP LAU ready to submit. And we'll close on that in September.
How many units can you do in the course of a year? I mean, is it just 1 or 2 towns, or can you do multiple projects at the same time?
Right now, we have 1 construction manager focused full-time on building houses, and we have another construction manager focused on critical home repair. So partnering with a school, we can do more. And what I'm looking at right now is 2 separate sites per year. So Hubbardston will be the Monty Tech site, and then probably Acton would be our next site. So they'll be in 2 different areas. And our construction manager would go check on the Hubbardston site on Tuesdays when he's not building, and then he'd be building Wednesday through Saturday. So that's what we can handle right now. We have applied for a capacity build grant, which would help us to expand more, but I don't know if we'll get that yet.
Yeah, I was going to ask what your constraint, your biggest constraint is in the construction process. Is it
Right
construction
now,
management?
yeah, it's the cost. It's the overhead cost. Right.
Yeah.
And so if there was another construction manager available, would that possibly speed the process?
Yes.
Do you have a small set of builders that you typically work with, or is every bid open to anybody who wants to do it?
So our construction manager is going to be the GC of the job.
Okay.
So he operates, we don't hire a separate GC. Usually he operates as the GC. For subcontractors, we usually go with someone local. So our site developer, we've used different site development companies or excavation companies, depending on where we are. For site plans in our area, Stamsky McNary is probably our favorite. We've worked with them several times, and then we work with Graz Engineering up when we're on the northern Worcester County. So we have different subcontractors that we use, and we've been really, really lucky that we hired electricians and plumbers for our critical home repair, but we've been partnering with the trade schools, so we've worked with them for electric, HVAC, and plumbing.
I'm really glad you're working with kids. I remember that was an issue in the Littleton Habitat in 2000 that the insurance regulations wouldn't let us. I guess there was a limit of 16. You had to be older than 16 or 18 or something to use a power tool and to be on site. Are the students brought in through the schools, and that's how the insurance is covered, that they're under supervision?
Yeah, and so when they're with Monty Tech or Neshoba Valley Tech, they're under their insurance.
Yeah. Okay.
And our insurance still for our volunteers, they can only be 16 and over doing construction work. And I've stretched it a little, and we've had Girl Scout groups and Cub Scout groups come in and help with landscaping and some things where we don't have to have power tools around and they're not as dangerous. But to be doing actual construction work, right, it's 16 and over, 18 and over to use power tools.
Yeah. Well, I couple years after Katrina, I took a Sunday school group of girls to Slidell, Louisiana, and I taught, I don't know, 4 or 5 girls how to sheetrock and use electric drills and cut sheetrock. It was great fun.
That's awesome. And that's such a good skill. And we could use you up in Athol because that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, we had a whole group down at Slidell. Did you go with Habitat, or you went with your faith community?
No, it was North Shore Disaster Recovery. It was a group that, I don't know how we got hold of them or they got hold of us, but it was a good project.
Yeah, that's great.
So Carol, it sounds like if we want to get on board, we need to get our act together and as a group decide if this is the route we want to go and get going so we can get on your schedule.
Right.
Well, right. The town would need to issue make some decisions on how you want certain property developed and put those details into an RFP and put that out for developers such as Habitat to respond to. So that's the
Right.
process for the town for the Affordable Housing Trust to dispose of the property. Well,
And
dispose probably is not the right word, but to
No, it is.
yeah.
Disposition. Yeah.
Yes.
And you already have properties that are designated, so they've been through the select board or town meeting to be designated for affordable housing, because that can sometimes take a long time as well.
We have a couple acres that were designated as part of a grant.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And we have some land that was left over from the developer to give to the Affordable Housing Trust to to put multifamilies out there. Just we're not land poor. We were just figuring out how we want to do it the best way, the most efficient way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's always a good question, right?
And we have money, a few bucks anyway.
A few bucks, right?
Yeah. And Carolyn, you had, I had asked you when we spoke before about having as much information available as to whether a lot's buildable or not.
Yeah.
So do you usually recommend that the town does the perk testing first, or is that a service that you're used to doing?
Well, I know for the Carlisle Road property, Acton did the perk testing, partly because the perk was in question because part of it was wetlands. And so in order to even issue the RFP, they wanted to make sure that it was a buildable lot. And it was an infill too, but it was in a failing septic system that was in there. So we've done it both ways. It makes it faster if you guys have already perked the land. But we've done both.
Okay. And I'm thinking if we have perk information, perk test information, then we can back into the number of bedrooms that might be possible.
Right. Yeah. And then you could put that in your RFP. Right. Yep.
The only other issue is we probably have to sell it to you for $2, by the way.
$1.09.
I love Littleton. I would pay
Money than
$1
everybody
for
else.
each property.
It's Littleton.
Best I can do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is exciting. Thank you very much for this information.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, thank you. And
It's
thank you
very
guys
good.
for working to bring more affordable housing to the area. I think COVID made it even more of an issue. But as we know, the housing prices are going up so fast, and there are so many people working in jobs where they just can't afford to buy a market rate house. And they work really, really hard. And it really does, being able to buy a house breaks that cycle of poverty. If you can build that generational wealth, and by wealth, they're only building, $200,000 to $300,000, but they have that capital moving forward. So it's really, really important. And thank you guys for working on it.
And it's theirs.
And it's
It is. Yeah. And there's so much pride of ownership. You talked to Wanda about it, and she's so excited to be able to leave it to her sons and have them move in. And we would have to income qualify them through DHCD, but as of right now, they would income qualify. So it is, yeah, it's a wonderful thing for her.
It is.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for the great work that you're doing as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you.
And I'm happy to come back anytime or come meet with you guys whenever we meet in person.
Sounds great.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. And our office is right in Acton, so I am very close.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, we go.
Field trip.
What was that?
Field trip.
Yeah, exactly. You can come to our office. I'll come see you.
Love ice
Yeah.
cream.
Yeah. All right. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye.
And next time I'll get my camera working so you can see what I look like. You'd recognize me if you saw me on the street. All right. Thank you. Have a good
Okay,
night.
thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for setting that up, Maren. That was very good.
That is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very simple ask. She was so pleasant when I talked to her and offered her time and offered to meet with you.
It feels like this is what's going to start us moving forward. Like there's a structure there. They know what they're doing. They've done it successfully many times. I think that's the kind of kick in the butt that we need to start making some things happen with all of the land and money that we're sitting on. It's been hard figuring out what to do, especially we've picked around, paying down homes, and it just never seems to be cost effective. But I think something like this, where we could donate land and even donate money out of our funds, would be a huge win.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And I think it very much answers the question of if there are neighbors to a particular parcel that have expressed concern about getting new neighbors. They say, learn that Habitat is involved. I believe that'll help ease the situation.
Yeah, good point.
So one of the thoughts, if we're considering the Tehadawon Road lot, that's 1.6 acres. Littleton does allow attached accessory dwelling units by right. So I think that a building permit for standard unit and an accessory unit, so a duplex, could be approved just as a building permit process. It wouldn't need additional review, statutory review from the planning board. So
If it
depending,
perks.
so, you know, there would be either 4 or between 4 and 6 bedrooms in the 2 unit. Yeah. Either 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom units. So total of 4 to 6 bedrooms. If we can
Right.
get perk tests, there could be one shared septic system. And then Habitat would take care of the rest. In my thought process anyway.
But
Yeah.
Mark, you were mentioning 4 units. Were you thinking of the Durkee
I
land
was
or?
thinking of the Durkee. And the reason I'm thinking of the Durkee is because Dave Guthrie wants to put the septic system in. So if we're thinking about going that road, now's the time to figure out how big a septic system we want to put in, where we want it, and get moving forward on that one. Maybe time is a little more of the essence on that one than it is on the piece we just got at town meeting a month ago. That's my only thought. And I think we could do more units up there. I think 4 would be an easy. 2 duplexes would be real nice out there. And I don't think that's a stretch.
How many acres is that?
5, I think it is at
Yeah,
5.
5 and something, 5.
But it's got some non-buildable chunks on it, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of it is quite steep and it goes down to, I think it's wet at the bottom.
Yes. Yeah, definitely there are wetlands on the site. But if we're back behind the house and behind the barn or on the barn site,
Yeah.
and then we would still also have the farmhouse to deal with.
Right.
We know from the Historic Commission that they are interested in seeing the farmhouse preserved, but they do consider reuse as a residential unit as being preserved. So they don't want to see it torn down.
So if we're 6 months out, we need to start thinking about maybe in our next meeting, maybe decide where we want to start focusing it on. If it's going to take 6 months for them, and we want to get in on that list. So if they're only going to take a limited amount of people every year, we definitely want to be in the queue if we're going to go this
Right.
route.
Yeah, and there's always the possibility that the RFP process brings another similar developer to the table.
Or we're willing to pay for a construction manager for a year and do 2 houses in Littleton by unblocking their bottleneck.
We could get Ed to do it. I'm sure he'd like to do it.
I thought Ed was like, never again.
That's probably him listening. He just called me on the phone. Oh, well. Sorry, Ed.
Well, Maren, that was really great. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for thinking of that. It's just, yeah, that was perfect. That was like the perfect person to talk to.
Yeah, it really struck a bell with me too.
Yeah, good.
I was, at one point, I was hoping that the trust would be able to hire a consultant to prepare an action plan to help us to understand what to do for the next, 6 months to 3 years, whatever. But we haven't even had time to, reach out to consultants to see
No.
what that process would be. I would hate to, yeah. So eventually we might get there, but we might do more learning by doing.
Just actually building something
Mhm.
with some people who know what they're doing.
Mhm.
Are we going to meet next month? I don't know if we had it scheduled yet. I think a lot of the other boards are not meeting in July, but Um,
Well, this is July.
in August, I mean, so
Mhm. So-
Ashley, are you really leaving us? Do we have a replacement?
I know the town is working on it. So my last day is July 23rd. And our assistant director will be serving as the interim until the new director is hired.
Are you not just leaving us? You're leaving the town? The whole bit? We're losing everything?
Yes.
Oh, now
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. It's very painful, Mark.
where are you going?
Groton, serving as your director.
Going to Groton? Really? We lost you to Groton? We could have
I'm
done
a
a big
phone call
sale.
away if anyone needs me.
We could have done a big sale to keep you.
She has a lot of nice people to work with in Groton too, so.
Oh, please. All right. Yes, soften the blow. Groton.
I believe Anthony told me yesterday that there were 3 applicants for the EHS director currently in the pipe.
Okay, well,
What else we got
That's
on our
great to
agenda
hear.
then?
So you had asked about next meeting. So usually it's the second Tuesday of the month. That's the 10th.
Mhm.
I'll be away, but you certainly don't need me to meet. Or the following Tuesday would be the 17th.
Well, perhaps we should confer with Cindy, but it would be great to have an agenda item on the next meeting to, I think, discuss like tangible plans for moving forward with either the Durkee property or the Hattawan. And it sounds like the Durkee might be the better place to start.
Do you want to have a meeting in August?
Why, are you going to be on vacation for August, all of August?
We're doing them all Zoom. Zoom's not a problem.
Yeah, no, I'd rather not wait another 2 months. So let's have one in August.
Well, I don't know if I can function with Ashley and Maureen going to be gone. I don't know. It's going to take a lot.
So if
Maybe I'll
we
have a
shoot for the
cigar.
17th,
I'll be outside and having a cigar, so maybe I can do it that way.
Let's do the 17th. If that is okay with everyone.
I'm fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Does anyone have any problems with that? Okay,
no, let's do it.
make it so.
Okay, August 17th.
Correct.
okay, I'll set up that Zoom and send out the invitations and happy to do that.
Mara, do you know where we're at with with Anna? Anna wants to be on the board, and Anthony was going to try to figure a way to get her on as another member. Just
No, I don't know I haven't heard anything on that. Would you like me to check?
if you would, please, that would be great.
I didn't know that she was
She would
interested.
really like to be on the board, and the problem is that so many of us on the planning board now that Bartlett's drank the Kool-Aid, and he's one of us, so it'd be like 3 people on the board. So
Well, plus like 4 out of the 6 would be select board or planning board members, right?
yeah, so
Or 5 actually.
but she really wants to do it, and she really, I think she'd be very good, a very good
Yeah,
asset. So.
she brings a lot to the table whenever she gets a project under her wings.
Sometimes too much, but
Yep.
whatever. Anyway.
Wouldn't that be a quorum of the planning board though?
Yes, we.
I would just have to double post.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's
All right.
so the next thing on staff updates, nothing new for me to add. And I think Ashley covered all of her stuff earlier. Board member input.
No,
Nothing for me.
I don't have anything.
I brought up some not mortgage assistance, but down payment assistance at the last meeting. But I think maybe this finding a way to partner with Habitat is a better way to go. So
Oh, well, down payment assistance. Oh, okay.
yeah, like down payment on a mortgage as a
Mhm.
way to help people get into a starter home. But perhaps we should focus on Habitat as it seems like a more fully baked plan and more likely to result in something tangible.
Well, I mean, I think we should pursue Habitat, but I think we should also keep down payment and mortgage assistance on the table. Just see what happens if anybody. I mean, I think all of that stuff needs to be on the table and discussed.
We
Yeah, I think the legwork on the mortgage assistance program, Ashley has that all done and doing the outreach. So the next new program could be discussion of a down payment assistance program. Yeah.
Especially for the affordable units that we have coming down the pipeline. We have senior units, we have affordable units. Maybe we can see if there's a need there. You know, what's coming on with Hager, what's left with,
Yeah, thinking about that. We've got 2 at Weber. The one or two that go to the lottery at Hager. The other ones are not going through the lottery process. So I don't know if they're appropriate. Well, anyway, so there's probably 4 units upcoming in the next year and a half.
When a deed restricted property changes hands, Maren, do you find out about it? Automatically?
Usually.
Does that happen very often?
No, there has not been a lot of turnover on those.
I was thinking that would be a way for us to, if we did see it coming, that would be a way for us to help the person who's moving in if they needed help with the down payment. But I would assume by the time you find out, there's a buyer is usually lined up, or is that not the case?
It varies. It varies a lot. Yeah.
but they have to be income qualified as well. It
Correct.
has to go to somebody in the same situation that's buying it
Right.
as the person that's selling it. So
Yeah.
maybe you're right. Maybe they can't get the scrap together the down payment. So
But like if
Yeah.
they're, if they're-
So I thank you. I understand your point now. So there might be a handful of other units that are up for resale that perhaps a new buyer could qualify and use down payment assistance.
right. But if the deed restricted ones only can go to an income qualified, it could be that it's not common for them to also need assistance with the down payment because I assume they've gone through some sort of financial vetting, right?
Yes. But if you figure the household will also have, moving costs and, starting up utility costs and
Right.
all that.
Okay.
A policy like that would have to be known in the community. Otherwise, people who would be eligible, if they didn't know about it, they wouldn't apply for it.
Mhm.
So there needs to be some publicity going with that if we do it.
Yeah.
Or we could make a requirement that if somebody in one of those units is going to sell it, then they have to give the town, 6 months notice so that the town can round up some applicants.
Yeah, there is a notice procedure and usually the town is notified, but some of the deed restrictions are written so that DHCD is notified and the town is
Okay.
sometimes left out of that
Right.
loop.
Right.
Okay, so we'll keep that on the list and it's on, not on the forefront. The first part of the list for Affordable Housing Trust is, first part of my list for Affordable Housing Trust is further discussion on RFP for the Durkee Farm Estates. So that'll take understanding where the developer is on his thought process for the septic system.
Is it possible he could put in the septic system prior to having a design for the houses? Just a terrible idea.
Well,
He could base it off the bedrooms, yeah. We could probably get an idea where it's gonna go, what perks and where it's gonna go, and just
Yeah.
figure out how many bedrooms he'll be able to put in.
I mean, if he's really up against a deadline and he has to do it, I guess we could in a pinch have him do it. And I mean, it's not going to decay if it sits there for a year underground, right?
But I don't know if he's in that much of a pinch. He's got last seven houses to do out there, so
Okay.
we have some time, but we might as well get moving on it before it becomes,
Right.
hey, I want to do something, and then it becomes too late.
That sounds
Right.
good.
right, because the process of getting an RFP written and issued takes a while.
Well,
Okay. So we had minutes of meetings from June 8th. Lucia sent those around.
They look correct to me. No,
I
change-
wasn't here, so I can't.
no edits.
I read them when they came out, but I don't have them in front of me. Shall I make a motion to approve the minutes as written?
Can you make a motion as a chair?
No, I'll ask for a motion then.
I'll make a motion that even though I wasn't there, we approve the minutes as written.
I second that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
aye. All right, that does it.
So the next item on the agenda was an RFP for the Affordable Housing Trust Action Plan. That's gone nowhere. I haven't had, and I think we're focusing first on the Durkee
Right,
project makes a lot of sense. And then schedule next meeting. We already did that.
Woohoo! Look at us.
Yeah.
We're done?
Unless you have anything else you want to chat about.
Marge, do you want to say one word before we adjourn? Because I haven't heard you say a single thing. No?
you're
Okay.
on,
No. I like to know what's going on, and I know I got in late, and I'm sure you welcomed Susan as our new COA board member on your, and we're glad that she volunteered to step up. She's very interested in housing issues, so.
We didn't, and I'm sorry, Susan. I see you in so many meetings. I just figured this was just one more that we were on together.
I'm just always there, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I thought this was their second meeting. I thought you guys did it when I wasn't here. Oh, yep.
No, we just
Welcome,
met,
Susan.
we met yesterday, Mark, and, yes, the board agreed that Susan was going to be our representative.
Oh,
So,
great.
yes,
Welcome.
we're very happy about that, so. Yep.
great.
We didn't miss a
Good.
beat even. Gee, Maureen was at the last meeting and, and we're so sorry Ashley's leaving. It's just, that's a little disturbing,
It is.
but we will move on. So,
Especially the Groton, no less.
I
think
know, I know.
Concord is somewhere, the Groton.
I know. But on the other hand, she will be just close by,
Yeah,
She's done a great job for us and she pulled us through a very difficult time. She's earned a place in history in Littleton as the EHS director that got us through the majority of COVID.
I was going to say,
all right.
it's like you've eaten all the spinach, Ashley. Now it's time for dessert. You should enjoy the dessert.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, Marge. I appreciate it. It's been a great learning experience for me.
Done a great job.
And again, only a phone call away. Everyone's welcome to come and visit the center. Of course, once I get there, love to give a tour. So.
Well, if your neighbors give you a hard time, my brother lives right in front of it. You tell me and I'll put him in his place.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Thank you for
All right.
well done.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All right, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Matthew Bartlett, all aye.
Right.
Okay,
Thanks, everyone. Super great
all
meeting.
right.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you,
Bye,
Mark.
Ashley.
Thanks,
Thank you, Mark.
thanks.
Bye. Bye.
See you guys
Listen,
in a
may I
couple
make
of
a
weeks.
request
Yes.
that asking Susan if she could please send her contact information to Maren so
Sure.
that I can send out minutes and agenda to you as well.
I will.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye.